What do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? My ass.
It's a fun quote.
What you just heard was a movie quote.
Movie?
The first person to DM us at But It Was Aliens Podcast on Instagram will not only get a shout out on the show, they will also get to pick a quote for a future episode. Hello and welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast where we probe alien tales to decide whether or not they're real or the fabrication of a big-time fibber. I'm your host, Moonwalker, and he is Greybeard. And today we're going back to Stardust Ranch.
You bastard. Frickin' bastard.
You sound bitter.
Of course I'm bitter. You made me wait all week for this stuff.
Well, here's a brief summary to catch you back up. John was a therapist. His wife was a former FBI agent.
An FIB agent. Frickin' fibber. So John was a dick.
He got rid of the guy with the machete.
Was a dick. The man with the machete was still awesome. There was no such thing as monsters.
They saw lights in the sky.
They didn't
want to tell anyone.
Because it wasn't real.
Dogs and animals were going missing and being mutilated. There was something in the house that John managed to grab and hit with a baseball bat.
Joyce.
It was a grey.
Was not.
They start attacking in groups of threes.
I feel a little bit bitter.
You sound bitter.
I want to fight.
You bitter bitch. Why don't you fight John in hand-to-hand combat?
You kept me dangling on such a cliff edge.
So John also has the head injury, which stops him from feeling fear.
And makes him less John-like.
And the aliens target Joyce.
Kinkly.
Well, we're going to get right back into the podcast. We're going to start where we left off. Like I said, he's killed 19. And you asked for evidence? By golly, here it is. Take a look at this.
Right. Let's look at this shit. I can't believe you fucking made me wait to look at this. I just swore and I don't care because you're a dick. You little bitch. What the hell is that?
What do you mean? The proof is right there.
What proof? It looks like it's a samurai sword with some ketchup on it and a little bit of ketchup smidged on the floor. I've been thinking about this all week, damn it!
When he removed the sword, the three of them vanished into thin air.
But no! Why didn't their blood vanish into thin air? Why is their blood red?
Maybe because it's out of their body.
I've been thinking I'm going to see a little dead alien. You prick! You have no idea how disappointed I am.
So with all the information we have so far, what are your thoughts?
Twat.
Calm down.
All I can think of is twat, prick, sloppy noshing bastard, swine.
Me or John?
Both at this point. I thought we were going to have like a dead alien body, and I thought it was either going to be definitive evidence or it's going to be hilarious. All you've done, you've tickled my balls, and then you've left them.
They blew.
I've got blue balls. Right. I forgot what you asked. I was too angry.
What your thoughts are so far?
So my thoughts are that you're a bitch. John is not a John. He's a little John. John Light. Joyce is a man.
Okay, where did that come from?
I'm just summarising my thoughts from the story that I can remember. I can remember Joyce being a man. John isn't a John. There was some sleep involved, but not lost time.
Yep.
There was the wolf pack. There was a man with a machete. Should have kept the man a machete.
Should have.
And there was a big bowl of disappointment. There was a turd in the punch bowl.
Piss in the ointment.
That is my entire thought process. My inner monologue has become outer. You're going to need to turn this around hard.
So John took the flesh.
What flesh?
Remember when he pulled the sword out, a chunk of flesh came out.
But then there was the bodies disappeared.
Not that chunk of flesh.
But that's part of the body. Oh, John, make your prickin' mind up.
He took the flesh and stored it in a glass jar in the freezer. He describes the flesh as giving off a liquid similar to brake fluid.
So it's brake fluid.
You're really down on this John now, aren't you?
He's not a John. Stop calling him John, damn it.
At this time, John happened to be working as a producer for a radio station where a colleague put him in touch with a captain of the US Air Force named Robert Collins. He asked Robert, if you had a dead alien, what would you do with it? And that's a bloody good question. What would you do with a dead alien corpse if you had one?
Well, I wouldn't put it in pissing brake fluid. And I wouldn't take a photo of nothing and try and say it as a dead alien body. Either.
But he didn't take a picture of nothing. He took a picture of the samurai sword with alien blood on it.
Ketchup.
Alien
And
blood.
a bit of smushed in ketchup on the floor. Right, what would I do with an actual alien body? I'd contact a museum.
Intriguing.
Do you know what? I was thinking I wouldn't go to the media, but then I'm thinking maybe I would, but alongside the museum, so that it's out there for the world to know about. Because if you go straight to the museum without contacting anyone else, the government might get hold of it. I'm sure they've got government contacts. We know how you work museums, and cover it up. Whereas you could use the media to get the story out there so that nothing happens to you and that the world knows.
But don't you think the media work with the FBI?
I'd put it in the media myself. I'd publish it. I'd make a podcast.
Don't have any alien bodies. I don't have any alien bodies. Kev?
So up next week's episode, the alien body,
And where it came from.
aka Real John.
So Captain asks him if he has one. He replies, part of one. Captain then puts him in contact with Dr. Levengood, who is a biophysicist. Doc Levengood can't seem to turn off his bullshit detector, but decides to take a look anyway, as it spiked his interest. He kept some of the flesh for himself, and also sent parts of it off to different universities without telling them what it is.
Right, I've got a couple of questions at this point. One, have you heard that song? I said, Captain. I said, what? I said, Captain. I said, what? I said, Captain. I said, what? I said, Captain. I said, what do you want?
No.
Watch the TV show Legion. It's in the last series, I believe.
I think I watched series 1 and 2.
But it is a famous song. Oh, that show is so good. That is the second best TV show I could possibly name of the modern era.
Ooh.
After Hannibal.
Ooh.
Of the modern era. If you ask me for the previous era, Buffy and Angel all the way. Come at me, bro. I will murk you. Point 2. Dr. Levengood. Are you sure it's not Levengood?
Levengood.
Are you sure it's not Levengood?
It's Levengood. And he's living good.
He's living la vida loca. His dick is devil red. Skin's the colour mocha.
The flesh was put through rigorous DNA testing at these facilities. 3 months later... Sorry? Carry on.
Rigorous.
Rigorous.
Just repeating what you said. I was just rigorously repeating.
Rigorous.
Rigorous DNA testing. Not the standard stuff. Rigorous.
3 months later, 90 days, 12 weeks, 2,160 hours, 129,600 minutes, or 7,776,000 seconds, if you so desire.
Really went hard on the calculator there, didn't you?
I did.
You sat there working it all out.
Dr. Levengood gets back in touch with John and tells him, you have the smoking gun. You have definitive proof that aliens exist. Definitive proof.
I call bullshit. Who is Doc Levengood? I note you call them Doc rather than Doctor.
That song sounds rather familiar.
I may have learnt it from a friend. Been waiting to use that.
It's because me and Doc are on good terms.
Doc.
Yep,
It's like Doc Martin.
exactly.
That ain't a real Doc.
You know how in Back to the Future, Marty calls him Doc? Mm-hmm. That's what it's like.
He's a scientist.
Except he doesn't molest me.
Did Doc Levengood Ud molest you?
No.
Proof my arse.
He's got proof.
My arse.
Definitive proof.
Definitive
and this
bullshit.
Is big.
Alright, come on then.
What would be the first thing you'd do in that situation with proof? Although I feel you may have already said about going to the media.
Museum and media at the same time. And I didn't even mention a money-making thing, did I?
No.
I was quite good. Oh, God, I'm so honourable. I just wanted the world to know.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, if you take that option off the table, I'm selling it. You're going to see an auction like you've never seen before.
Where are you going to, like...
eBay. It's going to go viral. It's going to be all over the world. So, Musk is going to be arguing with Trump and Branson and Bezos.
So this alien that we're talking about in next week's episode, if I go on to eBay right now, will I see it there?
There should be about 48 hours left.
That's a lot of money.
Ah, yeah. It's going to turn into extraterrestrial boulevard, son.
So,
I'm buying Guama.
Okay, those are your plans. I was just about to ask. But Dr. Levingood, Doc Levingood, wanted to go straight to a big news network. But John thought this was too much and wanted to go to a science convention first and show their findings there.
Good old John.
Oh, he's good old John now.
He's back in the good graces.
Ah, he's hot back in.
There we go.
Doc agreed, and they managed to arrange everything. Dates, time, locale, the lot. But then out of nowhere, Doc cut all contact with Edwards. I said Edwards. His name's Edmund. Where's Edwards?
I thought that sounded funny, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, he's cut all contact with John. This left John confused as he believed Doc was just as excited as he was. But later, he would find out that there was a damn good reason he'd cut contact.
No.
Doc Levingood had passed away. The timing of this couldn't be any more suspicious.
No. I'm still calling bullshit, but what? How did he die?
Tripped and fell in his lab.
Shut up.
Causing head injuries.
No.
Yep.
He was pushed. He got a nunchuck on the head.
So, you're claiming he was pushed. Does that mean that you believe? Because
I wouldn't... Whoa. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But this story's got more to give. I'm reserving my no until the end.
Don't you mean your yes?
No.
Your, but it was aliens. Your stamp.
Smelling bullshit.
What happened to the samples? Well, they're missing.
There weren't any.
Doc's wife?
Brake fluid.
Unfortunately, she also passed away a few weeks after her husband.
Broken heart. It'll do that to you.
So you don't think it's suspicious at all?
No.
Broken heart theory.
Broken heart theory. Doc was old. Real old.
So some time had gone by. Can't tell you whether it's minutes, hours, days, weeks or months. You get the picture.
I do.
John was outside his ranch cleaning his guns with a friend.
He's got more weapons.
Got more guns.
Slow down, John.
When a black SUV rocked up and outstepped two black-suited individuals.
Was it us?
It wasn't us. They proceeded to walk up to John's gate, which is 7 foot high and was locked. As John got up to let them in, he and his friend jumped back in shock as they walked right through
What? MIBs don't walk through things. They make you forget. Bullshit. This man clearly has not studied MIBism.
Now, in this situation, if it was me, I'm shitting myself and aiming a gun at them. However, John's response is that he thought they were using some sort of technology that no one had ever seen. Top secret government tech, if you will.
Top secret government bullshitology.
They continued to walk up the path towards him before stopping. When asked what do they want, they simply told John to stop posting pictures and talking about the alien craft online.
What pictures?
The samurai sword and...
That wasn't a picture of an alien, that was empty space.
They then turned around, walked back through the gate and left. John has reported that they look slightly off, with pale skin, dark glasses and no facial expressions.
Clearly read too many books. But I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You said that they asked them to stop posting pictures and talking about the alien craft.
Yep.
What craft? You never mentioned a craft, did you?
No.
What craft? You mentioned lights in the sky. You mentioned NWO wolf packs. You mentioned flesh, disappearing bodies.
So the reason I never mentioned the craft,
yes,
is because I couldn't find anything on the craft.
He stops talking about it. Deleted all knowledge.
Maybe they flashed him with their flash pen. Not literally flashed him.
Is it nebulizer, neuralizer?
Neuralizer?
Neurologicalizer?
Neuralizer sounds like it should be right.
So they nebulized him.
No, because a nebulizer
I
is
know,
for people with asthma.
They cured his asthma.
It sounds like they're like mini Darth Vaders.
Why is it that any time anyone ever says Darth Vader,
They have to
someone
do the
has
sound
to
effect.
do the sound effect?
Darth Vader.
Also, does it happen when you say Yoda?
Happens, it does not.
But instead of keeping quiet,
Jar Jar.
he...
Miss, I don't do impression.
I'm glad you knew what Jar Jar sounded like, because I didn't.
He's like a really bad, stereotypical Jamaican accent, isn't it?
No, you say it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awful.
He even had like pretend dreadlocks, didn't he? He was basically a really, really
Shit predator.
ill-conceived shit predator, slightly racial stereotype.
Miss, I nothing a good.
I was just trying to think of how to describe him predator-like.
Predator
It's
was
like,
a pussy. It would be Jar Jar
If
Binks.
someone wanted to draw a predator as a wet fart, they would draw Jar Jar Binks. Instead of keeping quiet, he doubled the down. He wasn't going to buckle. He doesn't know fear.
Well, of course he doesn't. That's a genetic condition that he suffered. Meanwhile, if he doubled the funk down, where is the alien craft? He did not double the funk down. He doubled the funk up and ran. He up and left.
He was actually shitting himself and was worried for his safety.
Called it.
So thought that if he'd go public and then something would happen to him, it'd be far too damn obvious. And to be fair, I see his point.
Yeah.
He made it public and let people know. It's a semi-solid safety measure, depending on how many Fs are given by your opponent. If it's
Zero mierdo.
then you're in the shits.
Fine work.
Not only does John now have these phase-shifting mofos to deal with,
Phase shifting.
but the little grey bastards are still poking around.
What?
They're visiting all the time.
You didn't mention them for a little while. I thought he'd got them all 19 of them.
He's killed 19, but they keep coming back.
Are they coming back, or is it the same ones? They can't actually be killed. So when he thinks their bodies are vanishing, they're actually just getting up and going back to their craft.
Like a reset?
Yeah. I don't know whether they're getting up and running back to the craft, or they're phase shifting back to their crafts to heal with their advanced technology and 18 thumbs
And come back and try again.
and do the same thing and get killed by the next weapon he's found.
So
They came back prepared for nunchucks and they got shot. They came back prepared for guns and they got stabbed.
Do you reckon it's like Live, Die, Repeat?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
They are.
Mixed in with Happy Death Day.
I've not actually seen that.
Do you want me to spoil it for you? Bearing in mind the conversation we had last week about spoilers. I'm not sure I want to take that chance.
Yeah, don't.
I won't. But what happens is... no. Put it away. 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 Who's your good boy? Away. I apologise, that was unnecessary. Continue.
What are your thoughts on what you've heard so far?
It appears that every time you ask me what my thoughts are, I get a crazy temptation to do something in my head that's nothing to do with the story. For example, you asked me what my thoughts were then. I just wanted to do a turkey impression.
Is your arm going to lift up like
You
the
need
llama?
to phrase it differently.
No, because
No, that's the llama
I
arm.
want to know what your thoughts are. Right. Now, there we go. So what are your thoughts on the story that you've heard so far?
So, we had the bullshit disappearing body that didn't really disappear. We've got the flesh sample that isn't really flesh, that's actually brake fluid. And clearly would have evaporated / rotted / burned away.
Okay.
We had the good Doc Levinghood and his lady both died non-suspiciously of old age and a broken heart. We had a really bad iteration of the Men in Black that clearly wasn't actually the Men in Black, because we know those guys very well, though. We're not still practicing Men in Black, are we, Granville? No, we're not. Good, let's move on.
Agreed.
And then he pooed his pants, didn't he?
He did indeed.
So, what am I thinking right now? Turkeys. If the Mibs phase shifted through the walls, why would they need an SUV?
Well, it wasn't through the walls, it was through the
Sorry, through the
gates.
Yeah.
Well, they still have to get to the destination.
Couldn't they just phase shift through the air?
Maybe it
Like,
only,
wouldn't they fall through the SUV?
maybe their ability only allows them to walk through something.
Why give it away there?
And they can walk through when they want. Maybe they saw it was locked and was like, oh, I can't be bothered to wait for him to come and unlock this gate.
I don't see the logic in this decision. Ergo,
Who said it was logical?
well, it's bullshit, isn't it? That's why it's not logical.
Could have just been laziness.
People always have a reason for what they're doing, even if they're not aware of it.
Is that true?
It is, yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay, take your word. You're a John.
Precisely. And I don't look like a thumb.
So if I was to ask you right now,
If it's
is it
bullshit.
aliens?
I feel you've worded that the wrong way.
No?
I'm not saying that it was aliens.
But
No but. Bad but. But, yeah, that's a thought. You mentioned that they've never stopped coming. But why have the stories about them stopped? What are they doing?
this is actually still ongoing.
Not again.
Yep.
Oh, no.
You can actually look this up and get
Oh, it's a money-making
real-time
scheme.
events.
I thought this guy was just a dick, but now he's a dick looking for money.
Well.
He's not quite done enough to warrant a place in the Hall of Little Bitches, but he's not far off it. If he starts doing GoFundMe pages or Kickstarters or anything, then he might graduate to the Hall of Little Bitches. Just putting it out there.
Glad it's out there. Duly noted. Well, after that little visit by the MIBs, John and Joyce both agreed that they need to sell the ranch and move for their own safety. Now, if you're looking to move to this alien-infested ranch,
No.
it would have cost you $2.5 million.
What? How much did it cost when they moved?
I think when I looked, it said it last sold for, I think, 240 or 260 something thousand.
Whoa. They have put a lot of money on top of that.
Indeed, they have.
All
There
right.
was someone
He's
interested.
edging closer. I can hear the echoes of the hall.
There was someone interested, but the deal fell through for unknown reasons. And the property was taken off of the market,
Stupid.
only to be put back shortly for a cool $5 million. It doubled in price.
What did it do to warrant that price hike?
The guy that wanted to buy it was
With a
the...
dick, yeah.
Have you heard of Skinwalker Ranch?
Yes, I have, yes.
It's the guy that owned that. He was going to buy it. So I think they were like, this dude has a lot of money.
Or he made money off Skinwalker and he thought he could do the same thing with Stardust.
But it went... The deal
Do you
fell
remember when
through.
Cody Rhodes used to be made to be Stardust in wrestling?
Oh my God, I'm so bad.
Oh, Vince, you've lost it, bless you.
Don't bless him. He lost it.
He'd done a lot of good work for us in the 90s.
He did indeed.
2000s. So bless him for that always.
But not now. I think when they realised that this guy was interested, they took the house back off the market and then doubled their asking price, hoping that he would come back in. And the last that I heard is that he is still interested. Although I don't think anything concrete has gone through.
If that sells for 5 million,
Crazy, right?
I'm selling extraterrestrial towers.
For how much?
If that's worth 5 million, this has got to be worth at least 5.5. How big was it? We haven't seen a picture of the ranch itself.
A big ranch. 9.67 acres.
So that is pretty big, actually. They've got quite a deal for a couple of 100k, haven't they?
Have indeed.
Okay.
Now, before you swan dive into your final conclusion, Greybeard, I have some other information from interviews with John, little tidbits, if you will.
Excellent.
In one interview, the lady interviewing him claims that she can feel a vortex in the room, in which John says there are a few different portals on the ranch.
Portals?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Like,
What's that got to do with anything we've discussed?
like Stargates. Maybe this
More
is how...
than one.
Yep. Maybe this is how the aliens are getting there.
What a bitch. John, you're a disgrace to the name.
She also says that the sector is rife
I blame Joyce.
with time travel.
Rife with time travel?
Don't ask me how she knows this.
How does she know this?
I said don't ask me because I can't answer you. Whenever he's been asked if he's filmed any of them or taken any pictures, there's always an excuse. However, another team was at the ranch and they managed to shoot the following.
No.
Apparently, they appeared out of nowhere and started investigating the equipment. Have a look at these.
They, before I look, when you say they, do you mean the people who turned up with the equipment? Or do
Nope,
you
this
mean...
is another team.
Okay, I'm now going to look at the picture.
The first picture.
Oh god, it's like Romanik all over again. That's almost the same puppet. It looks like that, only a little bit more emued. But at least it looks a little bit like a grey with a long, really long neck that doesn't look like it's capable of turning. And the quality, why is the quality always so bad?
I know.
Can I look at the next one?
Yeah. Take it there is.
With a white bus/truck behind.
Yeah.
And right way into focus too far, so it's really blurry, is the same puppet. I note that it's in the exact same position, only the whole thing has been turned rather than the neck turning, suggesting that this is not alive and cannot turn. Ah.
So,
What is the rest of the photos so... No, just no. I'm not even going to ask questions, because it's clearly fake.
other things from interviews are that he has taken pictures which were later discovered to be the same light as the Phoenix Lights,
Ooh.
and that the mothership from the Phoenix Lights is a dark black triangle.
Hold on. I slightly got tickled for a second. Mm-hmm. This isn't in Phoenix, is it?
No,
How does he know it could be the same?
it is.
Don't give him that.
It's in Arizona.
Would you trust this person babysitting your family?
He's a John. You vouched for him.
I rescinded that vouching
No, you can't.
when he started being a bullshit and little penile.
I would not trust
Yeah.
anyone that I do not know to look after anyone in my family. He's also had hypnotherapy sessions and has the recordings. Whilst he's
he
listened
does.
back to them, he's not fully able to comprehend what happened, so isn't ready to talk about them.
I bet.
He also claims
He hasn't faked them quite well enough yet.
He also claims that the aliens gave him insight into cool stuff like technology and information. He told them that if they're going to hijack his life, he wants something in return.
Whoa, hold on. He said that they told him that if... What? Wait, I've got a brain thought coming together here.
Brain fart.
No, thought. It's not a fart. He said earlier on he'd never spoken to them.
He did.
He's now saying that he's spoken to them.
He is.
I believe earlier on I called bullshit. I'd just like to rigidly stand by that call.
Okay.
I'm going to put a bullshit flag in the bullshit ground here.
So he and his wife
It's not blowing because it's bullshit wind.
got abducted. Clear abduction.
What? No, what? No.
Not this, they think they got abducted by sleep paralysis. They 100% got abducted.
They're 100% full of crap.
They've seen Roman soldiers walk past them in their house due to the Stargate/portal. Literally walk past them as if they weren't there.
So, wait. Roman soldiers?
Yep.
Not aliens.
Walked right through there.
This is supposed to be an alien portal. Why the hell are Romans coming through it? And why are only a couple of them walking past their house? Surely the Romans, if they found a portal, they'd send an army.
Not just like one or two.
Yeah, this is getting more and more ridiculous. I don't think there's anything you could say at this point that's going to surprise me.
He also raced a kangaroo. That one got me as well.
Freaking what? How did that race start? Did the kangaroo bounce beside him and just look at him
I
and give him
can't
this
remember.
such clear look? Like, I want to race you, mate.
So when I got this
Hold on.
little nugget,
Hold that nugget for just a second. The size of John Thumb. How is he racing anything? Your nugget?
it was one of those moments where I was listening to this, like the interviews, and I was like, something's good is about to come out of this guy's mouth. Like, I was on tenterhooks. And then he says he raced a kangaroo. And when that line was said, it was like
Or your president answered?
everything else around me just went silent. And all I heard was he raced a kangaroo. I couldn't remember anything else that happened before it or anything that happened after it. I could only take that quote.
Who won the race?
He didn't say. He just said he raced it.
You know the kangaroo run. Otherwise he'd say he won.
I mean, you've seen him.
You either enter a race or you win a race. No one ever says when they lose, I did the park run. I won the park run.
Yeah.
No one's ever like, so, went to the park run this morning. I lost.
So, if you ran the marathon and you didn't come first, you lost the marathon.
Exactly. But everyone's like, oh, I ran the marathon, dude. I'm so proud. Oh, it's so hard.
So you lost the race.
You dude.
Where did you come?
I ran it in 14 hours.
And did you cross the line first?
Dude,
So you lost the race.
I ran the marathon.
And before anyone gets triggered, no, I'm not running the marathon. You can go flock yourself.
Flock yourself. Flock yourself.
So, whilst in his back garden with a few other people,
Running races.
they saw a grey by the gate. As the grey saw them, it froze, dropped an artifact and a crystal it was carrying, which John believes is a key to opening a portal. Don't ask me where the crystal is, but here's a picture of the artifact.
Right. It's a dark crystal. Looks like someone has drawn a starfish on a stone.
So I will actually Correct. So that picture doesn't do it a little bit of justice. A little bit of justice. If you
Right.
pick that stone up, you can see right through it.
So that's a stone with a star-shaped hole in it.
Yeah.
That's not a crystal. That's a stone.
I said the crystal wasn't there.
It's a pebble.
I also said,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
don't ask me where the crystal is.
it's a pebble. It's literally a pebble. Oh my god.
John was also healed by a grey. The grey
attacking
healed his
him.
MS.
He had MS?
He then goes on to say it was a man, and then claims that he's not a man, but an alien, and they've been friends for 16 years.
Whoa. I would not want to be this man's friend. If he stabs people he's friends with swords, shoots them with guns, burns them, nunchucks them, this is not a man you want to be friends with. What? This is really starting to remind me of Romanek. He's just getting more and more outlandish with his bullshit. He can't prove any of it.
The aliens have also replaced him and his wife with doppelgangers at times.
Just when I think you can't get any more stupid.
One story being that he'd gone to dinner with his wife, and midway through, she got up and went to the bathroom. She'd been gone for a while,
Having a poo.
so he asked an employee to check on her. When the employee returned, he notified him that there was no one in the bathroom. John rung Joyce, only to be berated by her on the other end for leaving her at home.
Oh my god.
Joyce has also had instances of this happening too.
No, she hasn't.
Joyce also...
She's drugging him when she goes out on her FBI missions. Fib. That's exactly what this is. It's a fib.
She's going out and meeting other men.
She's tugging off.
And then
Tugging
she's
off.
like,
I can't even talk
"You left me
anymore.
at
I've
home."
lost it. I've no longer got a will to live.
So Joyce also doesn't want to be interviewed or have anything to do with this.
Oh, I'm not bloody surprised. Is she really from the FBI? Like really?
Apparently so.
Or did they add that to try, or did he add that to try and make it more reputable?
Now, this last bit of information I do have is more about the house than John's story. So the original owner built the house for his wife, and his wife refused to live there. She felt that something was off, and she ended up divorcing him
She knew John was coming.
because it was either her or the house.
Okay.
It then got sold, had a bunch of different owners, and unfortunately, one of them ended in tragedy. As a young man before his high school graduation put a shotgun in his mouth and took his own life.
Ah, so you could have told me that it was haunted from the start, and I might have been even more on board than what I am right now.
But we don't know.
At least there's
say
some
it's haunted.
backstory there for the haunting.
Which haunting?
Well, you had someone commit suicide
Yeah,
really disturbingly and unfortunately.
but there was nothing in there about a haunting.
But if, like, all these attacks had been an angry ghost regretting his decision, then it would have at least had some context rather than Romans turning up for no reason and dogs and horses getting killed.
Do you reckon the ghost brought the Romans?
The man with the machete fighting everyone off. Love that man. It's brilliant.
Now, this is the end of this truly remarkable story. I have spent hours probing this one, from YouTube videos, radio interviews, and I nearly paid for the book.
There's a book. Who wrote the book?
Nearly. I think in total, I listened to nearly 6 hours worth of vids and interviews. Now, what, pray tell, are your final thoughts on this story, Greybeard?
Right, so should we flick through what's happened?
Let's go for it.
So we've got the bullshit former FIB agent and a love therapist.
Yep.
They moved in, the stuff was all in the pool. A man with a machete
He kills the monsters.
killed the monsters and they refused to use him. Did anyone ever speak to the man? Wait, no monsters. He killed the aliens because there weren't any monsters.
So he left and never returned.
So no one ever saw him.
So
again.
no one ever saw
So
him
he
again.
might not have even existed. That's really disappointing. There was the Phoenix lights in the sky that weren't the Phoenix lights because this is all bullshit. Dogs, horses, lovely place for them to be brought up in, except for the fact they all die and get
Yeah.
pipes wrapped around them and their blood goes. He was draining their blood as well. Oh, God. There were things in the houses. He
Got
got
hit by the baseball bat.
yeah. He had the NWO Wolfpack attacking him. Sting done a splash.
He fought them with nunchucks.
Well, it wasn't a nunchuck first, was it?
Oh, no,
Wasn't it?
baseball bat.
Baseball bat, flamethrower,
Baseball
nunchuck,
bat,
nunchuck,
nunchucks, baseball bat, I think. No.
baseball bat,
Baseball
first.
bat, nunchucks,
Flamethrower, gun, samurai sword,
Yes, AK-47.
AK-47. It turned out he had
And hand-to-hand combat.
Oh,
Remember,
yes,
he
Kung
lured
Fu.
them in.
Yeah, with his fear paralysis.
Exactly.
Smart. Dick.
So he has the head
Had the
injury.
accident, yeah.
Where
So he
doesn't
used to be a
feel
reputable John before that, then he turned into a thumb. A lot of the sexual stuff happened to Joyce, so he used to handcuff her. She started levitating bullshit. They went to sleep and claimed it was time loss, bullshit. There was an alien craft that we never saw, bullshit. Starting to detect the theme here. I don't even want to
that it
talk.
was aliens.
I can remember the next bit, but I don't want to talk about it because it's really upset me.
So we have Doc's death.
Levingwood, yeah.
The samples went missing.
He died, the wife died.
Black SUVs.
Bullshit SUVs, floating MIBs who floated through the gates. Bullshit, yeah.
He goes public. Doubles down after being told not to.
Because he's scary. Then he pulled a Romanik.
Got those blurry pics
Yeah.
of potential aliens.
That is pulling a Romanik now.
And the
The
artifact.
gem, the dark crystal.
Gelfling!
It was aliens, right?
Suck a dick. I can't
Well,
decide
it was
how
aliens.
pissed off I am with this guy. I'm either tickled or I'm quite annoyed.
Tickled. But
There's no buts here, unfortunately.
what's the name of our podcast?
I'm not saying that it was aliens. It's all I can remember right now. Butt head.
So you're saying a no. You're saying it's not aliens.
Saying that it was aliens. Let me repeat for clarity's sake.
But it was aliens.
I'm not saying that it was aliens. Stardust Ranch, John, Little John.
No! No! What? No! Okay! Now make a clap!
That's Buster Rhymes and Spliff Star.
You
Duck Ranch. Well, since I started researching this story,
You had an aneurysm.
I've been looking for something to persuade me that this story is real, rather than looking for something to persuade me that it isn't. But after listening to John talk so much, the amount of times he contradicts himself, literally minutes after he says something, all I could think was, this is bullshit. And
feel like you read my mind.
to find out how far down this rabbit hole he's willing to dig himself. He has no evidence, and when he does produce evidence, it's flimsy at best. The sword is covered in blood. Well, sword is just covered in barbecue sauce.
Ranch dressing.
The supposed aliens in the pics just look like someone's holding a toy of some kind right up against the camera before taking a picture.
Yep.
The artifact is a stone.
Pebble.
Okay, a pebble. These beings are capable of travelling through portals, and they use an earth stone as a key. Makes no sense.
Yep.
I don't think Joyce can bring herself to speak publicly about it, because she'd break and either start laughing or say it's bullshit. Don't even get me started on the doppelgangers. Although she could have used that as an excuse to go off and meet someone else, it is good cover. I think I'm done with this. Listening to this guy talk about fighting these things like he's a ninja is hilarious, though, I will admit. Oh, and the head injury. It seems the head injury created this fabrication rather than eliminating him from knowing fear.
Or has he used it as an excuse?
Although he also contradicts that and says he was scared and fears for his life at some points. I believe this has been drummed up to make money, a long con if you will. I think I saw the last time that the property was purchased, it was, like I said earlier, 240,
Yep,
250,000.
250, I think, yeah.
And now they want 5 million. And they are also taking donations.
No! No! Right. You're going to have to do a speech, son.
to help with the upkeep of the horses. I'm not going to read out how you can donate and help because I do not believe that he deserves that money at all. Anything that you would like to add,
Yeah.
Greybeard?
The Hall of Little Bitches. We said it. If he's asking for donations, he's making it in there. You need to give a speech and put him in there, son. It's your responsibility. It's your investigation.
I hereby...
Yes.
I hereby induct John Edmonds into the Hall of Little Bitches for all this shit that he has put everybody through and asking money for his goddamn horses, for all this bullshit. This motherfucker can drown.
You can't get him.
He can drown in this bullshit in the Hall of Bitches, and he can swim in it. Little bitch. Little nuggets of corn in there too.
Take up your place next to Romanek.
He and Romanek can
Suck a dick.
suck each other's balls. Little bitches.
Little bastards, isn't they?
Both of them. Yeah, I do feel that Romanek is the bigger bitch.
Oh,
Just because of the children's
100%.
stuff. But this man, yeah, he pushed it too far.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this week's file and the podcast in general. You can follow us at But It Was Aliens Podcast on Instagram, But It Was Aliens on Twitter, or if there's a visit you'd like us to #probe, you can email us at butitwasaliens@gmail.com. Think that your computer is an alien?
Never thought about it.
Think that your postman is an alien?
Never thought of that.
Think that the milk that you drink comes from a cow?
Tag
#probe.